Hello and welcome back to the Crafted Pearl podcast. This is episode 2. I wanted to say welcome back to any returning viewers and welcome to any new viewers out there. I appreciate you joining me today. My name is Jennifer, also known as the Crafted Pearl on Instagram and Ravelry. I live in Alabama with my husband, our 4 children, and this is a podcast all about my knitting, crochet, and sewing. Just general craftiness and whatever else we can get up to. So I wanted to start today by letting you guys know what I'm wearing. I am wearing my granny square cocoon cardigan. This is a pattern by Spoons and Hooks. I'm going to stand up and let you see as much as you can. It is just one big granny square, and it is seamed and then added some sleeves in. I love this pattern. I've made it probably 6 months ago, and I've worn it a few times when it's gotten chilly here in Alabama, and it's very cozy, very warm. The granny square was one of the first things that I learned to crochet from my mom, so it's a bit of nostalgia for me as well. If I could change one thing about it, I would say that I would change the size that I made. I thought I made the granny square large enough. I would like for it to be more of a wrap instead of just a shawl. So I would increase the granny square by probably 10 or 20 more rows, and it would give it that oversized fit. But it's very cozy. I like it. It is Sunday, April 18th, and I am coming to you from bedtime at our house. My husband has been so gracious to put the kids to bed for me tonight so I could come in here and have some crafty time with you guys. So let's get started with some finished objects. The first finished object on my list is the October Skies Vest by Justina of Lady J Crochet. I love Justina's patterns. I've been a pattern tester for her before. She writes really wonderful patterns, very size accessible, and she's just really fun to work with. She's very responsive in the groups when we chat for the testing, and she's just a lot of fun to be around. So here is her pattern, the October Skies Vest. I crocheted it out of some Lion Brand yarn, just acrylic yarn in like a really pretty burgundy color. It's a very boxy fit. I did choose to add the tassels at the bottom. So it is made in one piece and then folded over and seamed at the shoulders. So it creates the armhole along the sides. I did make the size 3X because I thought that would fit my bust size the best. The only thing that I'm not crazy about this pattern is because it is boxy, my shoulders are not very wide, and so I have just a little bit hanging over on the tops of my shoulders, and it makes me look too boxy. So I weighed the remaining yarn that I have, and I have around 100 grams left. Crochet takes up way more yarn than knitting does. So my goal is to split this into 2 50-gram skeins, and then I'm going to come in to the sleeves and just pick up here and maybe add, let's just see how far I can go and see how long of a sleeve I can get on each side. I feel like if it's more of a capped off sleeve, something similar to this, I'll feel more comfortable in it and will wear it more often, because once it seams like this at the shoulders, it's just a simple whip stitch, so it wasn't hard at all. But once it seams like that, I really don't want to frog it because it was a lot of work and I really want to wear it and enjoy it. So I think I'm going to try adding some sleeves to see if that helps make it fit a little bit more comfortably on my body. So That is the October Skies vest by Justina of Lady J Crochet. So that's the first crochet whip for this month. My second whip, you see behind me, excuse me, not whip, my second finished object. I did finish my very first pair of socks. The vanilla socks on Magic Loop pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. I used yarn from Arkansas Yarn Company in their Conversation Hearts colorway. I cast on the medium size 64 stitches, the Chalgu US 1 2.25 millimeter Magic Loop needles. This was so much fun to complete my first pair of socks. I really enjoyed the process and learning. There's mistakes, it's okay. Nobody would probably even notice them except for me. So I am going to enjoy wearing these, and I've already learned so much about sock making and just the techniques and how socks are constructed already just from working on some more pairs of socks. So this is my finished pair, and they're perfect for springtime. So I was excited to get those off of the needles because it's now time to move on to some whips. Now I have crochet whips and I have knit whips for you this time. My first is a crochet whip. I plan to have this completed for Easter Sunday to wear to church. Realized about a week or so before I was not going to get it finished. So I don't know how you are, but in my world, if I know something is not going to be finished by the deadline that I have given myself, I will put it down and just kind of push it to the back burner, which is what I did with this. So I'm picking this back up for this next month, and I'm going to finish the Mesa top. This is a crochet pattern by Stacy Humble. It is a cropped sweater, crochet sweater. I'm using, let's see, the Bernat Baby Sport yarn and just the color white. Thought it'd be pretty for spring, something light, and would go with a lot of different things. I have one panel done, so it's made in 2 panels, and then it's seamed together, and you pick up stitches and create the sleeves, and then you add a some ribbing on the bottom. You can make it as long or short as you want. It's meant to be cropped, but depending on the length that you want and the coverage that you want, I will probably wear it over dresses, maybe over a tank top or something like that with a pair of shorts. So I'm okay with the shorter length, but if you wanted a longer length, you can just add more repeats of the pattern. It's beautiful pattern. It creates these little eyelets, so you could even do a fun colored tank underneath it or a print that would show through. So I am working on finishing that up. I hope to have that finished soon and get some photos up for you guys. So that's my first whip. That's a crochet whip. That's the only crochet whip that I have that I'm working on right now. And I have it in a bag that I got from At Home with Natalie a long time ago. And it says, yes, they are all mine. And I have this bag. I carry this bag with me whenever we go out places. And I have all my kits with me because people look at me like I'm insane because I have 4 children and they can't believe that they're all mine. So yes, they are all mine. So that is my first whip. Oh, I forgot a finished object. Let me tell you about it really fast. This was yarn that I received from Arkansas Yarn Company. I won the giveaway they had on their yarn cast episode, and it was Loopy Mango yarn. It was their worsted, let's see, what's the name of it? The Dream Merino worsted. And it came with a pattern for their worsted pom-pom beanie. Now, I did not put a pom-pom on it yet. I might. I haven't really decided yet. I have some faux fur pom-poms that I might add, but I kind of like the look of it without the pom-pom, just as a beanie. It's very soft, very squishy. I love the speckles, like the yellow in there, and the darker and lighter pinks. It's really not cold in Alabama anymore. We have a few cold snaps a few times in April, but I've worn it maybe once or twice, but I'm glad that I have it finished and I'm ready to go for winter next year. Gonna have this in the stash and ready to go. So, forgotten finished object, but there you go. Now, back to works in progress. My second is another pair of vanilla socks on Magic Loop, patterned by the Crazy Sock Lady. Again, using the ChiaoGoo red lace US 1 2.25 millimeter needles. This is a set or a pair of socks that I started for my mom. The first one is complete. This is the Loops and Threads Perfect Pair yarn from Michaels. It's the Michaels brand yarn. And I just love how you don't have to do any fancy patterns, nothing like that. It kind of works up its own. The pattern, the yarn works into a beautiful pattern, and you just have to knit, knit, knit. So I have the first sock completed, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will see the other day that I had gotten to the heel flap of the second sock and realized that I cast on the wrong amount of stitches. My mom is a size small in socks, and so I cast on the small and finished the small for this one. Started the second a little too late at night, already too tired, cast on 64 stitches instead of 56, like I was making it for me and not her. So I did not realize until I got to the heel flap, and maybe the gusset decreases even, before I realized it was the wrong size. So had to frog it and start over. That's okay. And I'm having fun learning to knit socks, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes. So wound it back up, ready to go. And I have this in a drawstring bag. And this bag is from Joanna of Stitching the High Notes. I got this from her last bag update. Well, one like it was her last one, maybe the one before that. But anyway, she's Stitching the High Notes. She's about to have another update coming up soon. She has beautiful, beautiful bags. So lots to choose from if you're in the market for a bag. All right, number 3 on my whips list, I have in just a bag from Amazon. This is a pair of socks that I've started for my son. This again is using the Loops and Threads Perfect Pair yarn from Michaels. And the colorway on this one is Better Days. He's an Auburn fan, so lots of orange and blue in there. And the pattern that I'm using for this, I'm using my first pair of 9-inch circulars. Ooh, there's tangled yarn everywhere. Using my first pair of 9-inch circulars, so the ChiaoGoo, 1x1 rib, so I'm still on the cuff, but I'm using the Magic Heel socks by Judy of the Autumn Acorn. Maddie, who's made by Maddie, part of the We Share Needles podcast, she and Kristen both, I think, have posted about the Magic Heel socks. The Magic Heel socks are great for making socks for people that you're not sure exactly their foot size, maybe how high their instep is. Also great for young kids who still have a lot of growing to do. You can really get the most out of their sock. So with my son, he's still growing and growing very quickly. So I'm using the Magic Heel sock pattern by the Autumn Acorn, and I'm really excited to try out a different heel. The only type of heel that I have done so far is the heel flap slip stitch heel flap and gusset that's in the pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. So I'm excited to try this out and see how it goes. So just the first cup 1x1 rib done there, but something exciting to work on and try out this week. Number 4 on my whip list is the second sock to a sock that I just completed for my youngest daughter. Madeline wanted a pair of socks that matched Mommy's, and I wanted to try my hand at a pattern sock, very simple pattern, using the leftover yarn from those socks right there. So I picked up the Rye Light socks, which is a free pattern from Tin Can Knits. So you can see there's lots of just really simple texture right there on the top of the foot, all the way up to the cuff right there. So I have the first sock completed. I did the child size for her, and it fits her really well. This yarn is even more squishy using this pattern. So that's just a simple row of purl stitches and then 1 row of knit. It's knit all along the back. I did the slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset as it calls for in the pattern. And then Kitchener the toe at the end. So I have 1 more to do, finish this up. This took me maybe 2 days because it's such a small sock. I weighed my sock this morning because I did that pair of socks in the Conversation Hearts colorway from Arkansas Yarn Co. Same colorway here, same method. I did the purple on the cuff, and everything else is the patterned colorway. So this sock alone takes about 18 to 20 grams of yarn. And so I weighed what I had left. I have 24 left. So I have to be very conservative with my yarn usage, but I think I will be able to squeeze out the very last sock. I'm not going to have any left over for a Cozy Memories blanket or a granny striped crochet blanket, but that's okay. I've really enjoyed using this yarn. It's very special to me as it was my first pair of sock yarn and first pair of socks that I ever made for myself. So I'm excited to use it all up and that my daughter's going to get to enjoy it as well. So I'm going to try to finish that up this week. Again, that's the Rye Light sock by Tin Can Knits. That's a free pattern on Ravelry. And then my 5th whip, I've had cast on itis lately. I have it in my Loopy Mango drawstring bag. My 5th whip is the Round and Round Cowl by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. This pattern is really my first time doing yarn overs. It's my first time doing what's the cast on? The German twisted cast on. There we go. It's my first time doing the German twisted cast on. Kay did a wonderful job on her tutorial of showing how to do that, and now it's my favorite cast on. I am using yarn from Amy Florence on Instagram. She is the dyer behind Stranded Dyeworks. She's based out of the UK. This colorway I purchased from her last year at the beginning of the pandemic. She did 2 colorways. One was Wash Your Hands and the other was Don't Touch Your Face. And so this is the colorway Don't Touch Your Face. It is beautiful, multicolored. It's a little blown out here, but lots of blues and pinks and oranges. And I have the ribbing done and the first pattern repeat finished. And it works up so pretty. So pretty. I did not have minis for this, but when I messaged Kay about, I sent her an email about the pattern asking if the type of yarn would work, because this is a BFL nylon base. I also read in the pattern that she said any type of variegated or speckled yarn would be beautiful as well, and you don't have to have minis. So I'm excited to see how this works out and the final product, but it's very pretty. I love all the pops of blue. The German twisted cast on is my new favorite. I do that now for all of my cast ons. I don't think I will ever go back to just the long tail cast on. It just gives it so much more stretch, and it's just a neat experiment for my brain to work in a different way and my hands to move in a different way. So I'm really enjoying this pattern because it's new to me techniques and things that challenge my brain, which as a stay-at-home mama, I need that sometimes. So that is it for works in progress. Now I do have some future knitting goals. One of those goals is that I have another skein of Don't Touch Your Face. So this is what it looks like in the hank before it is caked up. Beautiful, beautiful colorway. So I have another hank of this. It is her BFL nylon base, 80/20 fingering weight. Again, the colorway is Don't Touch Your Face. It is 365 meters, 400 yards. So I'm in a quandary and I need your help. I want to do something with this. I'm not sure if I want to do socks. I'm thinking maybe a Musselburgh hat, because that seems to be pretty popular nowadays, and I have been kind of itching to cast one on. I don't know if I would wear it as much on my head because of the bright colors. The cowl, I don't really mind bright colors in a sweater. I don't mind bright colors in a cowl or a shawl or anything like that. I don't know if I'm really too keen about having those bright colors on my head. So, but it's still in the running. Musselburgh is still in the running. Or Mina Phillip of Knitting Expat on Instagram and Knitting Expat Designs, she has started a newsletter. And for her newsletter subscribers, she gives away her pattern for her road whipping cowl. It's very textured. It's double layer, so you just basically knit a tube and then with a provisional cast on, which would be a new skill for me as well. And then you fuse those two or seam those two together at the end. So it's just one big tube, and it calls for exactly 400 yards. So I think that would be pretty, but I'm gonna let you guys help me decide. So in the comments below, cast your vote for Musselburgh hats, socks, or the Road Whip Cowl by Mina of the Knitting Expat. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions. And then the second future cast on, one thing that I do want to accomplish this month is I have a big old bag of yarn. I purchased some Knit Picks City Tweed. Looks more, well, you can kind of see the purple there. Purple, hints of brown, some tans and off-whites. It's looking more brown on the screen. It's definitely purple. More purple in undertones, but definitely pulling out brown here. What I want to cast on next is, let's see. This is the Lazy Sunday State of Mind sweater by Nancy Ritchie of Getting Pearly With It. She does a wonderful job in her tutorials for her patterns of doing Instagram lives. She'll get on there and she'll show you, okay, how do you swatch? how do you cast on, what to do to put sleeves on hold. I've never made a knitted garment before. I've only made crochet garments. So I'm excited to try my hand at my first knitted garment. And I'm excited to give it a try. Nancy is very, very sweet. I've made a couple of her patterns before and just communicated with her on Instagram, and she's just very sweet. Offers wonderful pattern support, and I'm excited to give it a try. So that's future cast-ons right there. I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, crochet, knitting, and sewing. I have not gotten behind my machine in a long time. I make dresses and things for my girls. I've made Halloween costumes before, things like that, but I've even made an Easter dress for myself in the past, but I haven't made things for myself in a long time. So I have 2 current sewing works in progress that need to be completed this month, just to use the fabric, and so I can get them circulated into my wardrobe and enjoy using them while the weather is right for them. So the first in my cute little basket I got from Target today, the first thing that I want to complete in the sewing category, excuse me, is the tunic number 1 from 100 Acts of Sewing. She's 100 Acts of Sewing on Instagram. This is a very simple pattern. She lays everything out for you word by word, step by step. Even if you are new to garment sewing, this is something that would be very easy for you to pick up and make your first garment. This to me is way easier than any McCall's pattern, any simplicity pattern out there that's the easy to sew. This one is very, very readable, easy to understand, and really makes you feel accomplished for making your garment. So I am in the process of completing this tunic number 1. I've had it cut out. Let me make sure I can find the top of it. It's a beautiful fabric I got from Hobby Lobby. So if it's cut out, got my sleeves in, my shoulders in. This is the size 4X. I measured and wanted an oversized fit because it is tunic length. The only thing I have left to do is the bias tape for the neckline. And then I have to finish seaming the sides and then do the hem, and it's ready to go. I'm gonna wear it over a pair of leggings for the summer. It's very light, very breezy. Will be perfect for the Alabama summers. Just gotta get it finished. So, almost done with that one. And then the next item on my sewing to-do list is a McCall's pattern that I picked up a long time ago. I'm doing version C of the shirt. The fabric, pardon the crinkles, it's all pinned still to the pattern because I got that far. I got it cut out and then that's as far as I got. So, fabric is this really pretty yellow with greens, reds and white polka dots on the inside, and then I've got some green caps for the sleeves. Once I get it put together, I think it's gonna be really cute. Again, a really fun summer top to wear. I think that'll be really pretty together. So we want to get that finished as well. Another, let's say chore, it's not really a chore. It's a task that I think is fun and a challenge for myself, is I want to kind of foray into the project bag making arena just to kind of see what I can do. So, picked up some fabric at Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago. Attempted to make a Japanese knot bag and it turned out awful. So, scratched it. I was not about to sit there and pull apart all those seams. So I do have some leftovers of this fun alpaca print and tie-dye print. I think I'm gonna make a little notions pouch out of that maybe, because I have just enough left for like a small, maybe a small sock bag. We'll see. Not sure how much as far as yardage goes, but I'm going to attempt that. And then last week when I went to Hobby Lobby, I picked up this gorgeous fabric that has bees on it, and oops, it's upside down. Bird nests and bees, and then a really pretty honeycomb liner for the inside. So I'm going to attempt to make a little bit of a larger project bag with that one. Never put in a zipper before, really just wanting to challenge myself as far as sewing and creating to see what I can make. And I'm really excited to see the outcome of that. So that's all I've got on deck as far as sewing goes. Let's see, what's next? Acquisitions. March was my birthday month. And for my birthday from my mother-in-law, I requested an Arkansas Yarn Co. gift card, and she delivered. So I ordered my yarn from Lori at Arkansas Yarn Co. I ordered the Zanzibar Waves shawl kit. Lori and Jess and Anna do a great job of putting together yarn selections for shawl kits and other projects there in their store, and they have all of those available online for you to look at if you're not local to their store. They also have an app, and if you download the app, you are one of the first people to know about new yarn in the store, all kinds of new goodies before everyone else on the general email list. So I ordered the Zanzibar Waves shawl kit, and it came on my birthday actually. And actually arrived on my birthday, so I was excited about that. The pattern, or excuse me, the kit comes with the code for the Zanzibar shawl pattern on Ravelry, and it comes with your choice of combinations of yarn. So this is 3 skeins of fingering weight Malabrigo sock yarn. Isn't that pretty? It's gonna be so beautiful together. Purple is my favorite color. And anything with purples and blues and greens I really love. So I was automatically drawn to this shawl kit. I've never worked with Malabrigo sock before, so I'm excited to work with this yarn. This colorway, the multicolor, is Anniversario. It's got lots of blues, light blues, dark blues, some pinks, some darker purples. The next is Violetta Africana, which is a deep purple. And then the green is Lettuce. So it's very, very pretty. And I'm excited about the 3 of those together in the Zanzibar Wave shawl. So when I cast that on, that'll be more of a fall piece for me. So this may be one thing that I work on, maybe casting on in the beginning of summer. So I have it ready to go when fall comes around. We don't get very cool weather here in Alabama until, I would say, usually November. That's when it starts to get chilly enough that you would be able to wear a shawl. Then we get the freezing stuff really here in February and March. So I'm excited to cast that on this summer and get that going. But it was a wonderful birthday present from my mother-in-law, and Lori and Jess and Anna took real good care of me and got that to me so quick on my birthday. The next acquisition I've already shown you as this project bag from Joanna of Stitching the High Notes. This is her Sweeter Than Honey collection. She may have a couple of bags left on her site. She may have some notions pouches in this print. This was a limited run back in February. She did a bag yarn team up with a yarn dyer, and they sold these as kits, but she did a second wave of them because the fabric was so popular. And I got this, my husband purchased this for me for my birthday. It's very soft, very squishy, flat bottom, boxed bottom, perfect for socks. And then my third acquisition was also a birthday gift. I'm wearing one of them with my logo on them. My sister and brother-in-law got merch for the Crafted Pearl. So I am very excited to show you. They purchased, I have a mask with my logo on it. And this t-shirt, which is a very pretty green. And then I have another purple tie-dye mask that is being washed. And then I have this shirt as well. This logo was designed by my uncle. He has worked in graphics design for years, and I messaged him when I wanted to change my name from the Maker Mama to the Crafted Pearl and asked him to design a logo for me, and that's what he came up with. So I really love the oyster. The pearl is a ball of yarn with the knitting needles in it. So my sister and brother-in-law were so sweet to get that for me for my birthday. So that's it for acquisitions. On to podcasts that I'm really loving this week. One of the podcasts that I've kind of binged this weekend when I've had some downtime was the Caffeinated Craft Mama podcast. Tamara is over on Instagram as Caffeinated Craft Mama. She is about 5 to 6 episodes into her podcasting journey. She's doing a great job, and she's just so fun to sit down and watch. And she talks about her family and her life and all of the fun things that she knits. And I've just really enjoyed catching up with you, Tamara, and really enjoyed your podcast. So if you haven't checked her out, please go follow her over on Instagram at caffeinated_craft_mama, and then give her a follow over here on YouTube. She's reached 500 subscribers over on Instagram, and once she also reaches 50 subscribers on YouTube, she's going to do a giveaway. So go over and follow her. You will not be disappointed. As far as life news, we're just kind of mustering on to the end of the year. We do homeschool, so we're kind of wrapping up our year, getting geared up for summer. Spring fever, spending lots of days outside when it's nice and the weather is nice here. My husband and I are going to be traveling in the month of May. We're doing an anniversary/birthday trip for my husband. He turns 40 in May, so we're going to do a big trip, just the two of us, and it's something that we haven't done in a while. So in May, I want to do a little bit of a travel vlog for you guys. I've never vlogged before, so be patient with me, but I want to do a travel vlog. We're hoping to hit some yarn stores, where we're going, and just maybe let you guys in on what I'm going to take in my bag as far as knitting goes. We will have to fly, so I'm excited to have some knitting for the plane and what I'm going to pack to take out there. So the goal has been, originally on my first podcast, I said to every 2 weeks. Obviously it's been more than 2 weeks since the last podcast. With my life realistically the way it is, raising 4 children and homeschooling as well, we're gonna move the podcast schedule to do a monthly podcast right now. Maybe this summer, as time allows, I will be able to be a little more frequent with the podcast. But right now, a month is a pretty good time for me because I'm able to get as much as I can get done within a month period. Every 2 weeks doesn't show very much for me around here. But if you would like to hang out with me more and see me more, I try to be as active as I can over on Instagram at The Crafted Pearl. So please follow me over there if you get a chance. Please like this podcast. Leave me a comment below. Share the podcast with others. And if you haven't subscribed already, I would be so happy if you did that. And I just thank you for joining me today. I look forward to talking to you again next month. Happy crafting, everybody.